The digitalization of our societies has undeniably transformed influence practices in electoral context alongside the profound changes that affect our information ecosystems and the way we consume information. As we all know, the rise of social media and now of generative artificial intelligence has weakened the role of traditional media gatekeepers. Digitalization is reshaping political communication, and the costs of producing and spreading information and disinformation have dropped dramatically. At the same time, the collection of digital data and digital footprints has made political micro-targeting far more accurate, and also recommendation algorithms on some platforms can lock audiences into what I would call ideological comfort zones. In some cases, they may even amplify specific political views while downplaying others, as has been suggested in the case of Elon Musk's platform X. More broadly, in this era of the so-called splinternet and the fragmentation of the global internet, authoritarian or illiberal states increasingly control parts of the internet and infrastructures through which these data circulates. This can lead to new and extremely effective forms of information censorship that directly shape electoral behaviors. At the same time, we should avoid seeing these transformations as a complete break with the past or as a radical change in the nature of these influence practices. We also need to look at the continuities, especially in the know-how of hostile actors who constantly adapt to changes in the information environment. The case of Russia, which I've been studying for more than a decade, is particularly emblematic in this regard. Political and electoral interference has become both a genuine market in Russia and also a central instrument of Russia's foreign policy in wartime, as we have recently seen in Romania, in Moldova, in Hungary, and currently in Armenia. Russia's influence ecosystem is multidimensional and actually less centralized than people often assume. It includes state propaganda outlets such as RT, influence entrepreneurs such as late Yevgeny Prigozhin, digital marketing firms and troll factories that are subcontracted by the Kremlin to run disinformation campaign abroad, such as the Social Design Agency, as well as units within the Russian intelligence services that are dedicated to interference operation and psychological warfare. These actors know very well how to exploit the vulnerabilities of liberal democracies in the digital age, while at the same time relying on practices and expertise that is inherited from the pre-digital era, especially from the Soviet Union. Understanding and documenting these continuities is, I think, essential if we want to design more effective counter-influence public policies. In France, for example, some of the Russian influence operations that have had the strongest impact were not purely digital operations. They were actually physical operations inspired by the KGB's active measures, which some of you may have heard about, such as the Star of David graffiti campaign, the Red Hands on the Holocaust Memorial in Paris, or the pig heads left in front of mosques in the Paris region. All of these operations were designed to exploit and to intensify social tensions linked to anti-Semitism and Islamophobia, which can be, of course, explosive in electoral campaigns. And I think that what is particularly important is that these operations always combine a physical dimension with a digital dimension that are carefully coordinated together. So I think that when studying this phenomenon, we really need to consider this combination. On the one hand, the change in scale that is made possible by digitalization, and on the other hand, the persistence and the adaptation of older influence practices inherited from the pre-digital era. Thank you for your attention.